Who invented the cheese sandwich? That's all I'm saying. Why does that exist?
Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Alrighty kids, when people ask where I'm from, or when people ask what are you, I guess the simple answer is, I'm brown. There's so much pressure to identify yourself and like make these nice, neat parameters of your identity. But sometimes it's not that simple. I have a pretty multicultural background, and all my life it's kind of confused me, or been confusing. I mean, I guess I look South Asian, but I don't really like... I was born in Canada, but my parents were born other places and moved to Canada when they were very young. My mom was born in Trinidad, but she... when people ask where I'm from, I say I'm Trini, but I moved to Canada, Tanzania, from Guyana. There's a lot of cultures melting in this pot here. I also just wanted to acknowledge that I'm very privileged to be able to trace my roots back so far, because not everyone can. Anyways, yeah, growing up, I guess I felt really disconnected to my cultures. And I guess what I've been trying to figure out is, why do I want to feel so connected? Why do I feel like I need to? Why do I want to connect to all these different cultures? And I can't imagine this is a unique, or what's the word I'm looking for? What I'm trying to say here is, you know, people move around a lot. That creates a lot of new identities and different cultures, mashups of cultures. That kind of leaves us kids, us people, feeling a little confused, I guess. At the ripe age of 22, I'm gonna do something about it and see if there's a reason why I feel like this. I'm gonna go see if I can find some answers. So I'm in the middle of research and I need to access these journal articles in some interesting ways. You know, no longer being a university student and having access to thousands of free journal articles kind of sucks. But it got me thinking about my online security and, you know, how to avoid getting a virus on my computer. But luckily, I use Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN, or a virtual private network. So basically what it does, it creates a small little protective bubble for when you're browsing online. Surfshark helps you minimize malware risk, you know, protect your online identity, bypass geo restrictions. It lets you place your laptop or phone anywhere in the world and lets you access the internet as if you were in that country. So yay to safe research, and also streaming TV shows in 15 different countries. And if you want to get started, you can use this code or click the link in the description to get 83% off plus 3 months for free. And Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't like it, so you're good. Anyways, back to reading. Alright, so I did some reading and I think I figured out why I feel so disconnected from my culture. Here it goes. So it all starts with the American sociologist Dr. Ruth Hill Useem. In the 1950s, she lived in India conducting studies of other Americans abroad who were working in representational roles like missionaries and educators. During this study, she coined the term third culture kid, referencing the children of these workers who are spending a significant portion of their developmental years in a foreign nation. The third culture in question was a generic term made to capture this in-between lifestyle where you need to balance the culture of your parents and the one of the world around you. Alright, this sounds like my life, kind of, except my parents didn't exactly get sent abroad as representatives from Trinidad, Guyana, Goa, or Tanzania for that matter. And my only passport has ever been Canadian. So third culture kid is close to my experience, but it's not quite there yet. And luckily, the research evolved. In 1999, David C. Pollock and Ruth E. Van Reken released the book Third Culture Kids, The Experience of Growing Up Among Worlds, where they define a new term, cross-culture kid. A cross-culture kid is a person who has lived in or meaningfully interacted with 2 or more cultural environments for a significant period of time during their developmental years. It's an umbrella term, so all third culture kids are cross-culture kids, but there are more options like multiracial homes, immigrants, international adoptees, refugees, and more. And the studies conducted on this group found that they, or we, all share certain traits. There are benefits like being socially adaptable, having multicultural awareness, and being more open-minded. But for all those benefits, there is this problem. When you're exposed to multiple cultures with different belief systems and priorities during your formative years, it's confusing. Pollock and Van Reken describe it as building relationships with all of your cultures while not having full ownership of any. It's a rootlessness that can make you feel like you don't belong or you're not enough of one culture or another. And this means that when you're trying to figure out who you are, it's weird because you're using pieces that aren't traditionally meant to fit together. It's like being dealt a hand from a deck made of playing cards and Uno cards. And so the reason that I feel so disconnected from my culture is because I don't even know what my culture is. You know, I mean, cool, we have this word to describe how we're feeling, but I figured the best way to explore this is to talk to another cross-culture kid. Let's call Taha. You're here.
All I know is I am brown. What is your vibe?
Funny enough, I was working last week and this one girl, she was like yelling over the speakers. And I didn't really understand what she was saying. And I thought that she asked, where are you from? And then I was like, well, you know, like I'm Trinidadian and Goan. And like I just say those countries. It turns out she didn't ask that question. She was asking where the bathroom was. If I don't feel like going into that whole story, I'll just be like, I was born in Canada. And then they'll do the whole, where are you from?
Where are you really from? Wait, well, no, but where you really... We all know what they're actually asking, which is like,
yeah.
What type of brown are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Taha, what type of brown are you?
I am British Pakistani. My parents are from Pakistan. And then when we were very young, we immigrated to the UK. I feel like within myself, I don't feel Pakistani and I don't feel British. I feel British Pakistani, like as one thing. That's the type of brown I am.
I don't know how to put mine in a nutshell.
I mean, you have a way more complicated, because that's the other thing. It's like they just want to know, like, I'm brown because I'm Pakistani, but culturally I'm British Pakistani.
That's another thing too, like, you know, like the difference between like your race or your ethnicity and like the actual cultures that you celebrate. I literally don't.
that could be its own video on itself. That is.
All right. I don't know. I've never like created an identity that like bridged all these cultures together. I just kind of like chilled here.
I feel like it's not active. Like I'm not like actively like, I'm going to participate in the culture. If you're like a buffet, you're like, oh, I'm going to take a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Whereas I feel like my culture is just like soup, just everything just all in one thing. And I'm just like, ooh.
I think like, apart from like, I don't know, clothes and language and all the other things that make up culture, for me, it's like been food. That's been one of the only things that confident or like comfortable just like bringing out into the world.
Being in a household where like everyone is Pakistani means that we can like really be Pakistani. But then also I think the food is like a massive part of it, because I think that like the food of Pakistan has so much like history and like culture wrapped up in it. I also don't know what it means to interact with culture, because I'm like, I'm just kind of eating food. Like, it doesn't feel like this grand statement like, oh, I'm interacting with culture because I'm eating rice.
I don't know. I do feel that though, like when I'm eating food from all these different places, it's like, I don't know, maybe it kind of like takes you home in a sense. Like you said, like when like the outside environment is not what like your culture is inside your house, it's like it's the only way that you can really like,
replicate it. On Facebook, they have that thing where it's like 1 year ago today. I feel like food does that for me. It just hits different, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Food just does hit different.
Exactly. It just hits different. And I think that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Amazing.
For chatting with me.
No problem. Anytime.
Food has always been a big part of my life growing up. Thanks to my parents and grandparents, I was able to eat a lot of different foods from our cultures. And it's kind of been the only way that I've been able to access these cultures, especially the places that I've never been to before. So the other day, I talked to my grandpa to ask him some questions about food and what it is about food that makes us feel so connected to where we came from. After that conversation, I was inspired today to try to make some homemade doubles. They're like a really popular Trini street food dish. I've never made them before. So while I try to figure out how to make doubles, here's what my grandpa had to say.
My name?
Yes.
My name Alvin.
So, you know how you look Chinese? Did y'all come from China at some point? Do you know how long ago that was?
Oh boy. About 1835 when the Chinese were leaving China. And that's when my grandfather went to Guyana. No, I'm Guyanese. Guyana was ruled by the British at that time, so we then had no opportunity to go and learn the language. Not that we didn't want to. Well, at that time, now I look back, I wouldn't mind learning in Chinese. But it's too late. From Guyana, I went to England.
Why?
To study. After I finished study, then I started to work in England. From England, I came here. And that's where I am now here. Guyana.
What do you remember about Guyana?
Yeah, what my mother used to cook. Mostly curry chicken. Christmas time, she made garlic pork, pepper pot. I'm not sure that is your favorite. What we cook now, like mainly like curry. There's no difference with the curry that you cook in Guyana than the curry what we cook here. The ingredients may not be the same or taste the same, but it's close as what you can get, especially with curry. By eating certain food, doing certain things, to preserve culture and to pass on to the younger generation is to maintain that tradition. So it's something that they will remember you by, remember certain things that you did, certain food that one cooked. So they could pass it on to their children, namely like you. But then again, I don't see that you cooking any food like what I mentioned to you, because I don't know if you learned or you didn't learn.
It's so good. You know, I don't think I found all of the answers I was looking for today, but food really does just make you feel like home or feel at home. Like, obviously, food is only one way that you can feel connected to your culture. Like I said, there's language, music, fashion, customs, and all that other stuff. Food is just it for me. And like my grandpa was saying, it's important not to forget your culture and where you came from and not let those recipes and stories and histories get lost. But if I've learned anything on this whole journey of self-discovery, it's that I don't have to be this one version or this person's ideal version of a Trini, Guyanese, Goan, etc. This is gonna be very cheesy, but I mean, I can just be me and that be enough and be okay. I hope you learned something. Happy cooking? Question mark, if you wanted to cook. I realized I never actually described what the heck I was making. It's basically these two fried pieces of bara. I've already bitten this one. Just like fried dough with like turmeric and jeera with like a chickpea curry situation inside. This one has chickpeas and potatoes and then some sort of like chutney. So this is a like sweet and spicy mango chutney that we put in there. It is so good. I'm gonna stop eating right now so I can finish closing out this video.